Howdy, and welcome back to Disco Elysium with Wickedstorm Gaming. We're talking to a cryptozoologist and a crypto-fascist, which I don't know what a crypto-fascist even is, honestly, but whatever. It's not even 1%, no it's not. Will be the third. Say it's small numbers, yeah.
Do you know what the success rate in
Damn, that's a
pharmacological
long,
research
small.
is? 0.00003% of bioreactive agents have reproducibly beneficial effects. Yet science persists in the search for medicine, as we persist in our search for new species.
I mean fair, I guess.
Yes?
So the problem is, I'm getting to the end of my recording day, and I don't know if I'll remember to check these traps
I
later.
didn't expect you to take such an interest in our work here, officer.
Chaos.
Well, be that as it may, I'd really appreciate the help. There are 4 in total. One is to the south, on this little peninsula.
And how
By
often
the
do I have to check
boathouse
these?
there. It's very near.
Eh.
Another we set in Land's End, to the northeast. It's behind a small sand dune there, on your way to the old radio tower, after the church.
Damn, I should have came here first.
The third
Already
is
been
set
there.
near the canal, where you crossed, by a concrete slab. A big thicket of reeds going up the slope, and among them, you should check at least one of those before returning to this one, since I just said it. This one's more of a technicality, but still, better safe and stupid than sorry.
That seems like a lot. Do we really have time for this extracurricular venture?
It's the pursuit of knowledge.
Is it?
Yeah, it's fun. Do you convince the small shrug? Yeah,
If
why
you
not?
think it's important, you have been right before.
What do I do? Yeah.
Bring it to me at once. Just make sure the trap is closed tight. That's highly unlikely, officer. But in the event you do, I'll spray you with a pheromone mixture I developed.
Not sure how I feel about that.
Did you hear that? Pheromones. You were right about the teenagers.
What teenagers? What the fuck are you talking about? So it really was the Phasmid that made the teenagers make it. What?
Oh, I doubt there is any
What?
connection there. Anyway, these pheromones will attract the insect to you, or at least prevent it from bolting at the sight of you. It's quite potent.
I don't
Could
remember
last
these
you about a
teenagers.
week.
Okay, it should last you about a week. Cool. Present your armpit. Lay it on me, thick boy. Douses you with the odd smelling spray, a double helping as you present your other pit. Then gives you a satisfied
This
nod.
is the smell of dying reeds, of longing crumbling into the water.
I mean, better than vomit and alcohol.
I hope you're not buying this. It dispenses it without letting you touch the canister, so it would be precious like holy water.
Okay.
It is precious. A single dose cost me 50 real to develop. Not that I expect you to understand self-financing one's own research.
Right. Which means you two can pack up and go back to the whirling.
Whatever he thinks about this detour, it's clear that these men are exhausted and in need of assistance.
Finally, someone's talking sense.
I don't know you, Gary.
Thank you for your help. Gary and I will start breaking down camp. If you have any more questions, now's the time to ask. We'll be gone once you get to it.
If it's more cryptid-related business you want to discuss, you'll have time for that later too.
Good.
But
I'm gonna do it
what
right
if
now, though.
information-
Right?
I'm gonna do it right now, though.
What cryptids precisely? I usually discuss these things with specialists, so I don't know what.
we would have to discuss. He wants to say, but decides against it, since you've offered to help.
I just barely can match that.
You need to ask him about specific cryptids.
I need bigger dice.
Cryptids you've
Fucking
heard
sixes
about
ain't
from
doing
Leo
shit.
Or his friend Gary. He won't just talk.
A willow person. It's a long story. one non-specialists would find rather dull. They're not people, really. Some argue they aren't really animals, as they seem to have evolved directly from trees. They're very, very thin, almost flat in fact, and can camouflage themselves easily, wrapping themselves around trees and blending in with the tree bark. In that way, they're not too dissimilar from the phasmid we're looking for here. You probably have. Gary and I painted an entire grove's worth of trees in slow-drying paint. It was a bright lavender colour. I was hoping one of the willow people would get paint on it and not be able to camouflage itself. After waiting in hiding for hours, I saw a figure slip from one of the trees, a lavender shadow dashing through the grove. I chased it with a net. Not very elegant. You can't be elegant in the field. And, well, it was faster than me.
I mean, you don't look very fast, honestly, so...
Lavender shadow.
Lavender shadow.
I know you think we were snacking on funny mushrooms. It's easier to mock someone and to admit that the world might be more interesting than you've imagined.
Man, I hope it's more interesting than I've imagined. I doubt it is, but I hope. I hope.
Furthermore, I'm not saying it was a confirmed sighting. I'm painfully aware of what goes into verifying such things. There is a serious possibility that I saw a squirrel or a trick of the light. I am my own harshest critic.
How big are these willow people supposed to be? Because I assume like the size of a person. If you saw something the size of a person painted fucking purple running through the trees, I doubt it was a squirrel. Tree of the light, maybe. Squirrel? Yeah, I doubt it. Itty-bitty.
Confirmed. It's 100% verified and meets all the standards of an authentic cryptid sighting.
And what are the standards? I know all about the kind of green ape. Look, I even have a green ape pen.
I see you've been talking about cryptids with Lena. The kind green ape is one of her favourites.
A warm wave passes him. Of course, the kind green ape is her favorite, he thinks.
We travelled to South Safra to look for it once. Gary and I got stuck in a rainstorm, though, and had to spend most of our time there in a little village.
No. It always sucks when weather fucks up a trip plan.
The search was fabulously unsuccessful.
Fabulously.
The people were very nice.
Oh.
I'm glad they didn't understand what Gary was saying about them.
What? South Safra? They're just on a different rung of the ladder, Morale. I had no problem with them.
Really? You kept complaining about how dirty everything is, but we digress.
They're a nascent culture. I just didn't feel comfortable. And let's change the topic, okay? Talk about your critters. Or whatever.
Why is this guy here, like, helping you?
Yes, back to cryptozoology. You don't want to sow disagreement between friends.
Yeah, it's true, I guess. I know the most dangerous cryptid in
Formerly the most dangerous, yes.
Formerly?
But do you know the most dangerous living cryptid?
No. Also, this gnome thing is the only one of these that's an actual cryptid. Like, the rest of them, I'm pretty sure they made up for the thing. Though the willow guys, I might steal that idea.
He doesn't want to make it feel like you knowing it is some big deal.
Living? No.
The most dangerous cryptid is a carnivorous ruminant, known colloquially as the dread moose.
Okay, that actually sounds fucking terrifying. A carnivorous moose? Moose are already fucking scary, my guy.
Yes, the dread moose subsists entirely on flesh. It has even been known to dig up fresh graves in search of sustenance.
Okay, this one actually doesn't sound that far-fetched. So it's like deer and the whole fucking family tree along the thing. Deer and antelope and all of them. They've been known to eat meats, like small animals and stuff. Like, they don't just eat plants. Every now and then they'll just fucking munch a mouse. Not on accident. Hold on to attack people.
Human remains have been found deep in the forest, torn apart. then trampled into the mulch by large hooves. Infer from that what you will.
Have there been evidence on these corpses of them being eaten by the moose? Because the moose will just fuck you up just because. They're very, like, once they get pissed, they're very angry.
Just like an ordinary ardent moose. You can't. That's what makes it so dreadful and hard to identify.
I'm 100% behind carnivore
Of
moose.
course you do.
Yes, carnivore moose.
The bodies found in the forest are just one piece of physical evidence. There's more. Sightings in Vasa, reaching back 4 centuries. But, of course, nothing satiates the skepticism of.
Like, honestly, again, like, these herbivores have been known to eat bones and flesh. I don't know about the digging up a grave part, but eating bones and flesh, like if they're low on calcium or something, they'll chew on bones just out in the woods. And some of them just straight up eat baby birds out of the nest. It's carnivorous deer are kind of creepy.
A detective. Pardon me, I did not wish to seek conflict. It's simply my training to question things.
Yes.
Understood, Lieutenant.
Looks to you the biggest cryptid.
That's impressive, I guess. But have you seen it with your own eyes?
Yes. No. Have you seen
I
it?
haven't had a chance to travel to Coco North.
Neither have I, honestly.
And I likely never will. The Samaskill Desert region has been embroiled in a small civil war for the last 8 years.
It sucks.
I fear this mindless barbarism may have wiped out the elusive creature entirely. Sightings of towering luminosities have grown rare recently, while they once used to be constant.
Yeah, it's like how Bigfoot sightings, as soon as everybody had a camera in their pocket at all times, suddenly kind of went away. Weird.
It remains unclear what this has got to do with you seeing it, as he was inquiring before. He was just being defensive.
I don't know why he would have thought I would have seen it.
Oh, everyone knows about that one, thanks to Professor Mijanu being the talk of the town for a time.
I don't even know if I can pronounce that.
A bit of jealousy there. He'd want that glory, truth be told, even if he'd have to inject himself with bacteria to get it.
Although, probably because her life ended as a result of her work in Gutler, no one remembers her contributions to the search for the Nongok.
And what is that?
A flightless cursor owl found in the Seminine Isles. Its long legs permit the Nongok to run faster than any other avian. Perhaps any other animal. Who knows?
So it's just an owl with stilt legs that happens to run fast?
When it's not hunting its prey in this manner, the Ock hangs from tree branches, like a bat, waiting to dive on hapless prey below on the jungle floor.
You gotta give him credit for coming up with all these, man. Like, seriously.
Janu liked extreme animals, you see.
Creative people made
One
this
of
game.
the few figures of the academic establishment I respect. Really a shame she disappeared. Oh, decades ago. In the 30s. I didn't know her personally, of course. The chasm of academic pretension still stood before us, even though she had unusual courage for someone from the other side.
Cool
No
one.
offense, officer.
Cool one.
I'm not much of a pedagogue. I don't know what I would have done if Lena hadn't persuaded me to go back to field research. You should ask her if you want interesting stories.
Oh.
Me? I'm not a people person, unless you haven't noticed. And I don't make a good lecturer. My strength lies in field work and persistence.
Considering they had to basically twist her arm to get you to go back to your wife, yeah. Pretty persistent. Enough tales. Let's change the subject.
Means.
There we go. Cool. People are out here miss the good old days. Soggy log, smell of ignition fluid. What is that? It never says
That
11.
patch of reeds over there, it's a great place to hide something. Kind of out of the way, being so close to the water. You don't have a reason to. Yet. Nothing. Just a hunch. The hunch passes, leaving you there, by the old boy bobbing in the water. Time to go.
Check if there's a rope on that buoy. I feel like that'd be a good way to hide shit. You got an old buoy that's just been sitting on the beach for a long time. Tie a rope to that bitch. Toss what you're trying to hide in the water. No one to check an old buoy. Little blockades are filled with bullet holes. Crumbling. Oh, I thought they were those things that you put along the shore to help with tsunamis and shit. I guess not. Possibly get a fire going this near to the ocean. I mean, if you're taking wet driftwood, yeah. Money! Cool! Alright, let's go to this thing. This whole game is just running around in circles exploring shit. Hello, random family. Necessity to design at its finest. Okay. Fence blocks the path. No way from here. Okay. Another power box. Charges nothing now. Okay. Oh, no, it's a alright. Yeah, not Kim. Not Kim. We'll go over here. Now go back. $5. That's a pretty good find. Another $1. I can apparently talk to a billboard.
You see a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electrical R&D. A slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now, only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, tomorrow is just a whisper away.
Looks like tomorrow never came.
Oh. How sad. Speak to the random family.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with.
Says next to his son pointing the weather. You're an architect nerd, aren't you?
Come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I'm Tran Heilostam. You must be Kim Kitsuragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
Nice to meet you.
Hypertext.
Yes, hypertext. Young Carp and the collection of cultural hyperlinks.
He's just making up fancy words. This doesn't mean anything.
Buzzwords, motherfucker!
Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. So they didn't have windows on the south wall.
That actually makes sense.
No, I can't say that we've met before.
I can't tell you how much glare pisses me off.
Well, say hi to the officers.
Well, the child stays hidden behind that. Yeah.
Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night
He's
trying
shy.
to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into worms lately.
You
But I
okay?
assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in '08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
This man is your half-brother. You feel it. But why?
Okay.
Aha! But it's not just any empty old building.
Aha! He raises his hand to his eyes to shield himself from the freezing snow.
What not a lot of people
Okay.
know is this used to be the R&D department of Felt Electrical. And Felt, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom.
Hold on. What's R&D?
Research and development.
It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop. Some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill.
Apologies, it's an acronym for research and development.
Yeah, dodgy.
They don't use it anymore.
Oh.
You're probably more familiar with RTD, Research and Technological Development.
Mea culpa. You are not familiar with that one either. This man is a bookhead.
He bookhead. What a bookhead.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains.
Oh.
They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve, or should I say they were developing an ace up their sleeve.
And it never came to
It was here in
fruition.
Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer.
Ooh, tape computer.
An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution. Revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bringing them to the average consumer, which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rehm, ICN and ZAM, haven't achieved yet. Indeed. What?
The revolution!
The child has spoken, and he's got an adorable little blue hat.
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market.
Oh.
Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes, possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins.
I mean, we know where one computer is.
All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D.
They built the boardwalk.
Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war.
This is a pleasure wheel.
Pleasure wheel?
So,
Perhaps reminded of a childhood memory. It's clear he would prefer there were a big wheel lighting up the coast.
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cybernetics. But history had other plans. Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers, they used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases. The most notorious example being Le Décret de Mars. What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent
March.
out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created Commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02. It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Bombessier dans ce Lind. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paying any attention.
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book, already forgetting about this part of the discussion.
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it, they were very elegant. Exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware. 10 years ago, I
another
did
thing
a
that's in the
little
back of the book
freelancing,
store.
I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Wompty Dom Center in
The
Vredefort,
fucking
Ohio.
what?
It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was head curator at the time. This was before the twins Keith and Guy Jews joined the team, trying to...
The Wompty Dumpty Dom? The fuck?
Wait, did he just say Wompty Dumpty Dom Center?
Yeah, that sounds made up as hell.
He did it. He said Wompty Dumpty Dom Center, like it's the most natural thing in the world.
Yeah, even I caught that.
What the hell is a Wompty Dumpty Dom Center? And
You
who the hell
fucking
are
know.
Keith and Guy Juiced?
I don't care about Keith. What the fuck is a Wompty Dumpty Dom?
the Wompty Dom Center for Contemporary Arts. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ockerman, chose to... In fact, I'm not. The Wompty Dom Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research center. But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant.
Oh, she
fragile.
quotates that.
One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform operations, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing.
Okay.
Very, very cool.
Ooh.
Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to this precious device. But so they did. The felt playback experiment vanished into the fires of '07. Yes, the official name of the prototype. Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ashes remain inside that building. But of course, what else?
Yeah, I'm gonna call it a day.
Well,
Like it
thanks
if you
to
liked it.
for having the endless
Subscribe if you
failure
want.
to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed.
Yeah, we'll continue the next time. Here for now. Check out the Patreon support channel. I'll see you next time. Have fun.